Miss G says she's already on. I guess hello, I guess you received some type of notification because I was just trying to set up. I didn't hit the go live button, but I think I am live now. So thanks for tuning in. The Lakers play approximately 30 minutes, so I will not be on this live stream for long. Right, hoping the Lakers pull out this championship real quick. So I saw this article. I wanted to share it with you all. I just want to tell you that the old advice or antiquated advice that you are receiving about financial is not going to be successful for you anymore going into the new year, going to 2021, right? It's not going to be successful anymore going into 2021. And so everything uh, that you know or learn or have not learned about money or credit or debt, right? Mark says he's the first. Uh, you're going to have to restructure that. You're going to have a new paradigm. So you all just come in and say hello as I talk because, as I told you, the Lakers play. So this is going to be a quick live stream, right? This is going to be a quick live stream, but you can still welcome to come in and drop your city and state and say hello, right? You can still come in, drop your city and state and say hello. Let me make this affirmation before my live stream. I am focused or I am attracting people who are creative versus critical, who hustle versus hate. Read my comment. And those who focus on prosperity over poverty. Martin, you're going to have to mail me a piston shirt. Like I don't have a piston shirt. I definitely will wear it though because I was a big fan of the Bad Boys, right? Isaiah Thomas and that era, right? I was a big fan of the um, the Bad Boys. Right? I still remember the Detroit Bad Boys, even when they had Dennis Rodman, right? And so I love the Bad Boys. Bill Lambier, man, he really was a bad boy. So, I kind of know my basketball history. All right, Houston, Texas in the house. Inland Empires in the house. Hello, Jesus. Also, my moderator. We got Letitia. Hello, Richmond, VA is in the house. You also hit the thumbs up button. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, also hit that thumbs up and hit like, right? YouTube like that algorithm. And Periscope, hit the heart, show some digital love, and invite your followers as well on the scope on Periscope. So let me give some more shout outs. Gigi, Heath, Texas. Hello, Gigi. Hello from the SIP. Romy Rome. Hello from the SIP, Mississippi. Glad to have some Mississippians in. Miss Timer says, evening, everyone. Nickel Dallas is in the house. Hello. Nickel from Dallas, Texas. Hello to you. You said, and you a M shirt. I don't know. University of Michigan. I love the Fabulous Five too, right? The Jalen Rose, that Michigan team, University of Michigan era. Right, getting positive vibes in the house. Hello, Sonia as well. Jacqueline from Arkansas. Hello, Arkansas. My business partner lives in Arkansas, right? Also, my tax specialist and my business partner is in Arkansas. Beautiful. I love Hot Springs. Went to Hot Springs last year. In particular, a very healthy city and environment. I love that spring water there as well. And Charleston, South Carolina, right? It's in the house as well. Well, I'm not sure if Martin was the first. I got Miss G's from Houston, H-Town said she was the first. So I came across this article, right? I'm not exactly sure about the accuracy of it, right? But I'm going to share it nonetheless. Says this article by the round table. What really stood out, I have someone in from Mississippi, is that when I watched the video, he mentioned that Mississippi was one of the states that was the first to dismiss wearing of the mask, right? Where it's not a mandate at this time to wear the mask. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this video clip for you. It says Fed announces it would quit printing paper money.
Mississippi is the first state to lift a mask mandate. And there's a lot of states that didn't have a mask mandate, but are the ones who put it in. Mississippi has now lifted the mask mandate. But for all that good news, let's understand as the rebel rebellion is rising, as people are now finally catching on to the scam, we still have other issues that are rolling out. You know, I've talked about the money issue, talked about the push to get us into a cashless society. Even though the rebels are winning in a lot of different fronts, we still have the Death Star that's being built, right? Operation Warp Speed Death Star. The vaccines, the 5G, the global ID, the cashless society, the war on the middle class to take people's businesses and jobs if you're not essential, meaning that you're not a Wall Street company, and to put you on communist welfare, universal basic income, the radical communist program that was put out by a couple of Democrats on the fringe last year. That's now become the policy, the bipartisan policy of the Republicans and Democrats. One of the few people to oppose it, Thomas Massey, was eviscerated by President Trump. And by the way, President Trump, he still won the primary. How about that? I'm proud of those people there in his district. He's one of the few people to have the courage to go against the tide and speak out when he saw something wrong. But when we look at what's...
Okay, so I'm going to pause it right there. Any person that's really studied the economy, right, all know or all are informing people about this health pandemic, right? So the article goes on to read, the Federal Reserve sent out a notice that they'll stop the printing of any paper currency this holiday season. This is all due to the Rona, of course, because any new money they print could be contaminated. Just keep using old, clean, used currency, right? The author of this says, I talked about the money issue to push for a cashless society. Remember, they stopped minting coins this summer, right? You all know, some of you are aware of the coin, quote unquote, coin shortage. They stopped minting coins this summer. You've seen people begging for coins, businesses saying they'll round up to the nearest dollars, or others saying they're not going to accept cash anymore, which is what, they all want. So according to this article, right, not me, but I just want to share it. I thought it was interesting. The Federal Reserve has suspended order for new 2020 bills during the holiday season, which people often request newly printed bills for gifts, right? So he's saying the newly printed bills will not be available. They're using this as an excuse really to do what they wanted to do for years, season to print new currency. So we're going to see if this is really going to happen, right? If we really, I said 2021, the dollar was taken off of the gold or stopped being backed by physical gold and money in 1971. And the tenure or the length of time that any currency has lasted, which is printed money, has been 50 years. And so the 50-year date ends in 2021, right? Also getting post office involved, pumping more money into billions into the post office so they can reach people in the rural areas, because the post office have every location of everyone, especially in the rural areas, right? And the post office used to do postal banking, right? And so all of this is tying in. And that's why I'm coming to inform you on October 11th, is that the old ways, right? The old way of what you learn and maybe what you did not learn, because let's be honest, a lot of minorities, a lot of low income people, and let me know if you all can hear me well. My TV's a little loud. If I can need to cut it down, I will. But have not been taught the right thing as it relates to your 401Ks, your pensions, having two jobs, and also saving cash. Hello, Ricky Knight from Dallas, Texas, checking in. Rodney Blackman says the post office is a bank. Their money orders. Oh, really? Okay. I see the Alabama. Let me see if I can research that. And if you all have firsthand knowledge, hey, just put your input on. So I don't know everything. I know credit though, but I don't know everything. I just want people to have firsthand knowledge and to be appropriate, because this is a credit and cash flow type channel setup in which we want to advise people. And you know, your financial future, right, is a very sensitive topic, right? Let's and I'm pulling up. If people will discuss for people to discuss their finances with you, is hard, you know, because it's very sensitive. They'll discuss their friendship problems, their money problem, their children problem before they want to discuss their financial problems. So when people are seeking better financial health and terms and things of that nature, right, then I ask that people advise them accordingly. So the real MJ says, what's your credit score? My credit score fluctuates. I use my credit to invest. So I don't, my highest credit score has been an 823, right? But it doesn't bother me if my credit score takes a plummet when I use my credit cards to purchase assets, which is what I do. So my credit score is really irrelevant, right? However, the way I use my credit is the message that I get to people. And my credit is score is at the point now where I have assets, and that's what I use my credit for. So it's not about your credit score. A lot of people want bragging rights to say I have an 800 or 850 perfect credit score. It's about what are you going to do with it? What are you using your credit for? So I guess a better question would be, what assets do I have with my credit, right? And I probably won't tell you that either, because I don't want anyone looking for me to look for my assets. But just know I have cash flow and assets with my credit, right? Thank you, Mar. I use credit for cash flow. So my credit score doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all, but I can tell you I'm above my 750s right now, my FICO. Right. So it doesn't. I heard Jay Morrison was live one time, and someone came on his live stream and said, King, I have I think an 812 credit score. And Jay was like, man, you're doing better than me. I'm at a 680, right? People that use their credit for assets to create cash flow, they're not worried about their credit score. They're concerned about their credit profile and their cash flow and assets that they're using their credit to get, right? So, but the real MJ, make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up to my channel, right? Just know I don't have any debt in my credit profile, right? I use my credit to get assets, so I don't have any consumer debt. Well, I take that back. My house is a consumer debt, but I use my credit to purchase an asset that's paying my house note. So I don't pay my house note. I have an asset that pays my house note or my mortgage note every month, right? So be more concerned about the usage of your credit and your credit profile versus your score, right? Versus your score. So Real MJ, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Let's look at the postal auto money order backed by gold, right? I just want to look at that real quick and see if I can pull up something on that. I don't see anything. This is just something I researched in my own time, because my next question would be, why would they want money order backed by gold? Right? What's the purpose of that? So oftentimes, people, these are some credit myths, and I'm going to get into 401K's, pension, having two jobs, right? Having two jobs, I'll get into that. Having two jobs are for two people, right? When you have two jobs, the government look at you as if you are two people, and therefore you are taxed accordingly, right? That's why your net pay from your paycheck look gross. Let me say that again. That's why your net pay, right, from your paycheck look gross, because two jobs are taxed for tax as two people, two working people. Not to mention the time that it takes you away from your friends and your family, and what it does to your mental and physical health as well, right? And so once you don't understand that, or when you don't understand that, then you don't understand the power of having entrepreneurship and having business tax deductions. So that's why I introduce people to the home-based business model, because it's a financial that I'm associated with, because it's a financial education, and it has all the strategies in place for you and me to take advantage of 475 tax deductions. Also tax deductions that are in my home, right, that I would not have with my regular consulting business, right, of business credit and credit consulting. And so once you understand how to make whatever you reside in a cash flowing, right, because if you have a mortgage or you're buying a house, it's an asset. It's a liability, it's not an asset. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. And a mortgage or a rent note is taking a payment or money out of your pocket. So what you have to do is turn whatever you reside in into an asset, where the money that you're spending out, right? Cash flow is currency. Currency flows. So the money that you're spending out can flow back to you, right, through legal tax deductions. So when people understand that, then they can understand how to live better life financially, right? Because you cannot buy time, right? Money cannot buy you time. Cash cannot buy you time. A high credit score cannot buy you time. However, that's what Bob Marley told his son on his deathbed, right? Money cannot buy you time. However, right, meaning more time or expansion of your life. However, it can provide you time freedom while you're living, right? And so once you get a home-based business, and once you learn how to implement those strategies in a home-based business, see, it's not just good enough to have a home-based business and you're selling products and you don't know how to use the financial strategies of a home-based business, right? And so once you get a home-based business, and now you can work a job and keep more to see, if you don't have a home-based business, you're losing on average from $200 to $600 out of your paycheck, right? That's the amount that you are losing. If you have a low credit score and you have consumer debt, your second loss, right, is coming from interest rates that you're paying the banks. because now you at a high credit risk because you have a low credit score, right? Now, I want you all to answer this, and I have to log off because I'm going to watch my Lakers. When it comes to 401Ks and pensions, what is the average interest rate return on a 401K? What is the average annual interest rate return on a 401K? I'm going to see if anyone can answer that as well. What do you all think the average interest rate return on a 401K is? And if you're watching this on the replay, you can exactly for night. Post office and courthouses are banks. Okay, I'm waiting on you. Whether you're watching this live and in replay, on your 401Ks, what's the average annual interest rate that you get? If you have a 401K. All right, Daryl says 8%. Okay. All right, Daryl. So that may be your, particular 401K. But according to Motley Fool, right? Motley Fool, the average annual interest rate, okay, on a 401K is actually 5 to 8%. So you're right, Martin, did you Google that? Did you Google that, Martin? 5 to 8%. So let's just split that in the middle and look at 6.5%, right? Let's say you're at least earning 6.5% interest rate. So if that's $10,000, right, that you have put into your 401K, people, that's only $650 annually that you're earning a year. So now you have to put in the equation of inflation. Inflation rises at 3%, right? Inflation is the increasing of prices on your everyday goods and services. So now that 6.5% in actuality is only 3.5%, right? Because you're losing 3% every day to inflation. And so once the stock market, which is not controlled by you, right? That's the second or third stealer of your wealth. You're getting your 401Ks and pensions taken out of your paychecks, right? Because you want to retire in a comfortable financial situation. So now you have taxes, then you have your insurances, right? Your health insurance, your critical care insurance, your cancer insurance, your paycheck disability insurance in case you cannot work on short term or long term. You got all these insurances coming out, your vision insurance, your dental insurance, and then you have your 401K or pension. So that's why, again, your net income look gross, because you're only bringing home 50 to maybe 60 cents on the dollar, right? But the one thing that you can control, because a lot of people want those insurances, which is another class within itself. People need to be able to identify the right insurances, right? That they are signing up for, whether it's life or your insurances that come out of your paycheck. However, once you get your insurances and your taxes taken out of your paycheck, then your 401K and pensions, now during economic reset, your wealth and your 401K and pensions are stolen, right? In the public school system, even with teachers, back during your grandmother's era or age, pensions were a great thing, right? They felt like I worked 25 years as a public school teacher or UPS or, whatever, and I get this unlimited pension payout. But even pensions now are dependent and also they talk about, I get a 13th check, right? So if you're in the public schools, you know about that, and which is highly taxed. But now pensions cannot pay out on average what people need to sustain because the cost of living substantially increased. And so if you decide I don't want my pension payout to come out slowly over time, and you just take out the lump sum, you get taxed so high on 30% of the lump sum that it won't last you 3 to 4 years because of inflation. So 401Ks are taken, or they rob you of your 401Ks whenever there's an economy crash or economic reset and the stock market crashes. And then even pension payouts is also conditioned to the stock market because your payouts can lower, right, if the stock market is underperforming. So these are all stealers of your wealth, stealers of your paycheck, right? And having 2 jobs, right, will not do it because you still have those factors that you're in a higher tax bracket, right? Now I heard people say I had to quit my second job because they end up or put in position that they had to pay back in taxes just because they had a second job. And at the end of the year, right, they had to pay back the IRS or the feds. And so you always be hustling backwards if you do not learn this financial education and implement it. Someone give me the score of the Cowboys game. My dad is a big Cowboys fan. I see Dak Prescott got injured right before I went live. So, but they still score. But I still want to know the score of the Cowboys games, right? As we get into the Lakers. So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to close. You definitely need a home-based business. It's all about because profits are better than wages. Profits are better than wages, and you need to leverage your credit and your cash flow, people. Okay, thank you, Martin. Oh my God, it's a good game then. Leverage your credit and your cash flow. And some people ask me sometimes about the home-based business. What if I'm not good at sales? You can be successful without recruiting anyone, right? Because it's all about strategies. It's all about strategies, and we offer the most comprehensive training solutions that any business out here, besides you having the opportunity to work from home, and it covers every aspect of your financial life. And I'm talking about every aspect of your financial life as I'm breaking down the 401Ks, the pensions, the having 2 jobs, right, and not saving money. Now let me discuss what I mean, or expound what I mean about not saving money. I don't mean that you should be cash poor. That's not what I'm saying. Cash is still an asset, right? So I'm not saying that you should be cash poor. I'm saying you should cash store. It's a difference. You should be storing your cash, not saving it in the banks where it's gaining no interest and you're losing its purchasing power due to inflation. You should be storing cash, right? Storing cash so you can convert it into an asset. That should be the purpose of your cash, other than to live off of, right? Other than to pay your bills. You should be storing cash to invest in assets, right? After all of your essential bills and everything is paid. Ben DeJoy said, question queen here. I have 10 inquiries on my credit report. Some of them were not approved by me at the time. They were run with a credit analysis. Do you think it's possible to get rid of them? Not with me with a credit analysis. My credit analysis does not cover getting credit work done, right? Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean to store it to save versus to invest, and not to just have it sitting in the bank being idle, right? Money should be moving. But no, the credit analysis, and I cover that. The credit analysis first gives you the steps of what to do, right? If you want the consulting, it tells you what needs to be repaired or restored in your credit report. You may not think this is accurate, but most people don't know what needs to be done and how it needs to be done, right? Some people will, for example, delete an entire account for one late payment, right? And then, they should have just disputed that one late payment so they can keep their current payment history. Some people dispute old dormant accounts that is no longer factoring in a credit score, and that damages their credit more than hurt it. Some people dispute in a way that it causes a fraud alert to be on their credit report. Some people don't put signatures on their dispute or template letters. Some people don't sign with the right ink. When they do their affidavits, is what I do, affidavits. And some people just don't follow up. They don't give me the affidavits I request. So, the analysis is just to tell you what you need if you want to continue with the consulting, what the affidavit needs to look like, right? If you want to become a client, I give you an example of the affidavit in order to begin the process and the steps you have to take, right? Listen, the reason why many people have bad credit is because they want a hands off when it comes to understanding business and business practices, right? They're not on top of their bills sometimes in most cases, or something has happened to them in which they're not in position to keep and maintain good credit. But credit is not for the lazy. Credit is not for the follow-up, right? I get people that email me sometimes from 2 or 3 months ago, and I'm like, why am I just hearing from you? If I communicated with you in May or June, I'm just not hearing from you in October, right? Credit is not for the lazy. It's not for the people. It's business. It's business, right? And so I tell people all the time, and I'm on a credit thing, that if you cannot scan and email documents, because you have to understand that when the credit agency communicate with you, right, you have to communicate that with me. I don't have access. Credit is an identity protection program. So you have to know how to follow up, and you have to change your practices of how you conduct business. And you have to forever operate that way if you want to continue to maintain good credit, right? You says, will it give you a plan? Do you mean, will it give you an outline of how to get those inquiries deleted if you didn't approve them, right? Because every inquiry must have your permissible purposes in order to do a hard pull on your credit. So I don't know what type of plan that you're looking for, but it will give you a price, right? If you want to consult with me, it'll give you a price. I give you a price, and I give you a procedure of what you need to provide to me, give you examples and what needs to be done. And I tell people all the time, when it comes to credit repair and restoration, you need to have this mindset, right? You need to have this mindset. Yeah, Gwen, it is glad to have you back. Thank you, Jesus. No, I don't tell people for $125 how to get rid of inquiries. That knowledge is way more than that. And so that's how much the investment for the credit analysis is. It's just $125. So that knowledge is way more than $125 investment. So no, it does not. No, it does not. So, but I can tell you that trying to remove hard inquiries with accounts that are open is not a very good idea, right? Because the company could close the account. And oftentimes, if you're saying you did not give them your permissible purposes, then you may have to file an identity theft report, right, which would also cause a fraud alert. So that's a very skilled and tedious background knowledge of how to do that. So no, it won't give you the plan for that investment. And so back to what I was saying before I told Gwen, hello. I tell people, have this mindset about credit, right? If you get a letter in the mail about collection and they give you 30 days to validate, and if you do not exercise your right to validate that collection within 30 days, it is placed on your credit report. Some collections are placed on your credit report at the time that they are sending you a notice that it's a collection, and they place it on your credit report at the same time. So if you have 30 days to validate it, I tell people all the time, have that mindset that it should take me at least 30 days, right, to get this account deleted, right? But if it takes you 6 months before a bankruptcy to go through the bankruptcy process, right, or 6 months before a credit card of non-payment is considered a charge-off, then you should have the mindset that this may takes. Now, I'm not saying it can't be sooner, but have that mental mindset that this could be a 6-month process of getting it deleted, because that's how long it took before it evolved into a charge-off. It took 6 months of non-payment, right? And I'm saying this to say this, even if you do month-to-month credit repair, people, on average, that's like a 10 to 12 month process when people pay month to month, right? Oh no, let me know if Dallas make that field goal. My dad is gonna be happy, but I won't. And so let me know if they make it. Thank you for the update. And so even with bankruptcy, you have a 10-year sentence of that bankruptcy remaining on your credit report. So even if it took a year or 2 years for deletion, right, that's better than 10 years of remaining, right? So Jesus asks, thank you, Queen, for that $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Gwen. Thank you for supporting the channel. And what people don't understand is that when you support the channel, that gives me more opportunity and time to research, or even if I have to purchase a book to give you this knowledge, right, then it enhances my knowledge, allows me to reinvest so that I can bring this information to you. So let me get to Jesus' question. Jesus asks, so thank you so much, Gwen. Oh, the Cowboys won. All right. So they do have that starting quarterback is injured. Jesus says, so does the credit analysis almost doing like an estimate. It entails an estimate, but this is what the credit analysis also provide. It gives you education on credit reports, raising your credit score and rebuilding your credit, right? Education on credit reports, raising your credit score and rebuilding your credit. It gives you or provides you your current credit scores, a summary of all inaccurate negative accounts, right? So a summary of all inaccurate negative accounts. It also gives you a detailed summary of all accounts that went negative within the first 24 months and an explanation of why that's high risk, right? Because they are at this point causing the most damage to your score. According to FICO, negative accounts within 24 months up to date lower your score the most, right? It also gives you accounts that creditors can sue for that fall within the statute of limitations, right? So it lets you know what accounts are still under the statute of limitations and which creditors can sue. It gives you key factors regarding your credit, a detailed list of inaccurate accounts, and a plan of action. So that's what a plan of action And the next steps to restoring your credit comes with the estimate of what the plan of action will consist of, and the estimate along with it. So step-by-step plan of action, really how you can achieve your credit goals. And and that's just, to me, just for $125, low investment. It gives you the creditor names, no phone numbers are included, but all your creditor, your collection names, your types of accounts, the types of loan you have, who is responsible for each loan, the date of open, your date status, the history of your accounts, so that's pretty much in a nutshell what it covers, right? And it gives you, like I say, everything up to date. It lets you know what accounts within that window is hurting or damaging your credit score the most. So a lot of people don't know, for example, what a FICO score is. They don't understand that it's a 3-digit number that's built from the information contained in the credit report. FICO score is like a math equation. So it gives you a summary of all your negative accounts, payment history, the amount of debt that you carry, the length of your credit history, the amount of new credit you apply for, and the type of trade lines that you have in your report, right? How your score is calculated, right? So it's a very detailed report, and it's well worth the investment, even if you don't want to become a client. It's breakdowns, what's a good credit score. Lenders say anything between a 720 and a 760, you get the best prime rates, right? But if you have a 620, you get subprime rates, which means you are a riskier borrower. So anything between a 720, you're going to get prime rates. You're welcome so much. You're welcome. So I'm glad I answered that question, because a lot of people want to know. So let me watch these Lakers. But I just wanted to break this down to you all, that moving forward, cash needs to be stored to pay your essential bills and to have assets, invest in assets, right? Have one job and then have a home-based business, right? So that you can save $200 to $600 out of your paycheck. Right now, your paycheck is $200 to $600 less, because you don't have the there are deductions and there are exemptions, right? As an employee, you only have deductions to claim on for your paycheck, which determines the amount of taxes or the taxation that you receive. Once you get a business people and a home-based business that teaches you, you now add exemptions, right? Use your credit to invest, use cash to invest, and stop getting 50 to 60% on the dollar out of your paycheck, right? So you all, let me cheer these Lakers on. If you want more information about the home-based business, go to this platform or use this link, bit.ly, www.bit.ly/MWR home-based business. Give you all the information you need. You also have passive income opportunity, because this business is an asset. So once you share this opportunity with other people who need help in the financial area, or their financial life as well, right? Then you earn passive income, which means you do the work one time and you continue to get paid passively, right? You have personal trainer, training through our Zoom. We do everything virtual, personal training. It's an interactive online platform, massive engagement, right? A great community. And you're in a community with like-minded people, which is half of the battle, right? Of being financially free and financially successful, right? You can ask your questions and get them answered in real time. You don't have to wait for a phone consultation. And because, my mentor, he's earning like $50,000 a month right now. And so you have a mentor that's like the Tyler Perry, right? Do you all know Tyler Perry is a billionaire, right? He's one of the few blacks that's billionaire, so he's in a billionaire club. Where my mentor Brian Beam is like the Tyler Perry of this business. So $50,000 a month, the last I checked. If you want credit assistance and credit help, that credit analysis that I broke down to you, go to my website, www.fixmycreditandcash.com, right? Let's get you quicker results than month-to-month credit repair, and go to the tab credit help. Hey, I'm signing off. Whether you're watching this live or in the replay, I want you to type in "Go Lakers," right? Hopefully, yes, yeah, he is. He's like the Tyler Perry. What did I post? Let me see. What did I post? Oh, thank you, Jesus. I'm gonna have to send you a Christmas gift. I think it's. Let me be accurate. How many billionaires? And only 6 of them are black. I know Oprah is one, Tyler Perry is one, Jay-Z is one. I made this post. There are 614 billionaires, right? And only 7 of them are black, right? So I do know right at the top, Tyler Perry, Oprah, Jay-Z, Robert Smith. I can't think of the other ones. But people, we have to, like the link Jesus says, we have to make wealth real. And oh, thank you so much. Yeah, go Lakers. Mark, why do you want my number? And you text me before, Mark. You have my number. Oh, Kanye West. Thank you so much, King. Kanye West. And you know what? Chess move. You're right. Oh, yeah, you know what chess move that Kanye West did to propel him into that billionaire status? You know, Michael Jordan. Right. Thank you, Michael Jordan. He built the taxes. He got into the what's that Jesus whatever he was doing, but he learned how to reduce his taxes legally. He started that nonprofit 501c3, and it propelled him right into that billionaire status, right? How long it take me to respond after the original documents are sent? After the original documents are sent and notarized, up to like 5 business days, right? Up to like 5 business days for people that send the original documents. And it's not just that. You have to create a free account with Credit Karma because they update every 7 days, and with Experian. And you have to follow through. It's not just enough to say, hey, I haven't heard anything from the credit agencies, because I provide phone numbers. So you have to provide me, you have to call the credit agencies yourself and request, if you have not received anything, and for them to mail you an updated credit report. However, that's not even really necessary during these times, because if you have Credit Karma, and you should want a hard copy now, don't get me wrong, you should want a hard copy. But if you have Credit Karma and Experian, it is just as simple as sending screenshots. And I have videos on my channel about how to email me your credit report updates. That's one title, or how to get quick credit results with me, right? That's it. Credit Church. Was it Credit Church? Because I do Credit Church. Hold on. Man, look, we need to do another live stream, because I right now am working on incorporating in Wyoming. And I was researching the difference between Wyoming, Delaware, and Nevada. It wasn't Credit Church, was it? Let me check. Because it was not Credit Church, Jesus. I mean, Mark. Credit Church is my thing. It was Sunday something, I thought. Oh, Jesus is King Sunday services. That's what it was. Then I'm telling you, the rich and wealthy know how to lower their taxable income. It's only the people that's the high income earners, middle class, and high income, I mean six figures. And let me look up. And the working middle class, they don't apply these principles. So wow, Zeus, you are, look, let me see. Let's share this. Yeah, credit church is me. I was like, I know you didn't have credit church. Kanye West is reportedly building a um reported building a 10-bedroom mansion with two underground garages. Wow. On a 14 million Wyoming ranch. Take a look at the sprawling property he bought last year. Wow, this is almost like Michael Jackson's what did Michael Jackson call his Playland or whatever that play Wonderland? I forgot the name of it. Wow. 1,500 square foot home and two underground garages, Wyoming Ranch. He bought Monster Lake in September 2019. He bought another ranch. And just look at what type of property he's buying ranches, which are also big tax write-off and deduction. It's 75 miles from Yellowstone. Wow, the property includes a restaurant, salon, a ranch-style venture, a maintenance shop, an office business, horse barns, corrals, facility. Wow. You can say what you want to about Kanye, but he is smart and intelligent. Thank you, Neverland. Right. He did with Sunday service, Jesus is King. He shifted a lot of that nonprofit there because he actually got a tax refund. Not just him, Jeff Bezos as well. Jeff Bezos as well. I gotta watch the Lakers. Um, got a 68 million tax refund, and he says it was divinely inspired, which means it's Jesus is King, right? I'm trying to get this ad to close. It said this ad will close. Well, I need you to close. Okay, let me stroll. Kanye West says his 68 million tax refund was divinely inspired. So we asked a CPA if that's a thing. When Kanye West took to the skies Monday for episode. So he said God is using him as a human being. Humbly, he's using him to show off. Last year, he made $115 million and still ended up 35 million in debt. This year, he looked up and just got a 68 million return on his tax return. So he said, no, people need to hear that someone who's been put into debt by the system talk about these kinds of numbers, now their service in Christ. And people, let me tell you something. That was very profound when he said about people put in debt by the system. So you all don't understand, when you don't have exemptions and you are a W-4 employee or worker or 1099 employee or worker or independent contractor, and you do not have exemptions to claim on your tax returns under Schedule C, right? Under a business entity, then you are or will be put in debt by the system because taxes cause debt. Okay, Martin said Mace did it first. Jeff Bezos also received $1 million refund as well, right? Do you feel there are many codes and pros starting 501c3s opposed to the pros? I feel like that with a 501c3, you have to have your governing board, your bylaws also in place, the organization of it. But, you know, I feel like it's good if you can get someone to help you in that area, manage it the way it's supposed to be managed. I've helped some churches. I know some background about churches and helping them get their bylaws and et cetera, et cetera. But it does take high organization. It does take a board. But there are definitely some good tax advantages if you also have good bookkeeping, right? So just for example, I just say churches, for example, because it's my experience with churches, not other 501c3s. It's not just good enough to open a storefront church, right? And start preaching scriptures in the gospel and collecting money. You should have your legal entities and your in place, and also you should have business skills and business management, right? And you should have your board and your bylaws in place as well, because that may be your ministry of teaching and preaching, right? That may be your ministry and your mission in life, but you also have to have money management. And the Bible is the number one book on money management and businesses. And so, you know, I don't know why people don't abide by it. But likewise, the Bible also says, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give to God what belongs to God. So this is not tax evasion, right? We're not talking about the Wesley Snipes or Lauryn Hill. This is tax maximization, maximizing and adding exemptions to your paycheck and not just having deductions, which is what most employees have, just 15 tax deductions to claim. And so you're only getting 50 to 60% on the dollar when it comes to your paycheck. Okay, you all, let me watch these Lakers. Here's to your health and wealth, your peace and prosperity, and your credit and your cash flow. Let's win this championship. Lakers, Queen of Credit out.